Hello, everybody, and welcome back to You've Been Joshed with Josh. I am your host, Josh. It is episode 7. Hell yeah! Hope everybody is doing dandy, at the start of this month of November, as it rolls closer to Christmas, and everyone is starting to be like, "Oh my God, it's Christmas time! Are you a Christmas person? Do you celebrate Christmas before Thanksgiving? Are you one of those people?" Every year, it's always that same question every year. Do you listen to Christmas music, like as early as November? Like, as soon as November starts, do you start listening to Christmas music? Do you put up your decorations? Do you put up your tree? It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when, you know. I'm typically for me, I start to listen to Christmas music after Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of people don't. They have bad memories tied to it for whatever reasons, from childhood or whatnot, and like that makes sense. And it's the same with other people with other holidays and whatnot. But it was always like a big deal for my family. And for a while we were celebrating Christmas at the same time, so it kind of like coincided. But then for me, with working so many retail jobs, growing up, yeah, I can't do Christmas music until after Thanksgiving, because I just got so attuned to it. Like Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas." Oh, that can go to hell. That can go to hell. I love Christmas music. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Christmas is. It's just there's only like 12 Christmas songs that are like nostalgic and make me feel good, and I don't want to hear them too much during this season. Otherwise, they lose their like the specialness of like when it's that time of year and you hear it for the first time, you're like, yes, like that always makes me excited. So like I try to save it right up until the end of Thanksgiving, and as soon as Thanksgiving is over, I listen to it all the way up until like New Year's, and then it's over. Because I want to keep it special, you know. I want to keep it a yearly thing, you know. I love it. I just can't do it too early, if that makes sense. And if someone wants to do it early, like, good for them. Like that's their own thing. I just don't want to hear it on the radio. That's why I'll just put it on my Spotify through my car, and it's all fine. And it's all good. Oh my goodness. I realized that it's been 7 weeks since I've started the podcast, and I start every podcast with, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's this long." It's just I'm impressed that I've been able to come up with topics of conversation every week, and it's getting a little harder, solely because there's not my life basically stays the same. It's I get up, I do stuff with my wife, and take out the dog, do some work on the computer, plan some things, get some work done, and then I stream. And then after I'm done streaming, I relax with my wife. I take the dog out, do some stuff, work at the computer, and then I watch some TV and I go to bed. Like that's the thing. And I go repeat. And then on my days off, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I work on some more stuff for stream. And Tuesdays are normally the day that I record the podcast. Like today is Tuesday, but I release it on Wednesday. And whenever Monday comes around, I'm like, shit, do I have enough written down for the podcast? Is there enough? And then I sit there on Tuesday, like today, before I started recording, I sit here and I like make sure that it's good, you know, because like I normally have things that I want to talk about that I write about during the week, but like I want to make sure that it's good content, you know. And I'm happy that I'm doing this, because it is really making me like think about things and like work. If that makes sense. It's making me work, and I like that. It's making me work, and I like it. But thank you to everyone who's been listening to the podcast and giving me feedback on it and letting me know if they've been listening to it. It really means a lot. I'm really hoping that you guys are getting something out of it and enjoying it. I always have a good time. and share with your friends. I'm going to promote myself a little bit. You know, like share with your friends, share the podcast with your friends. Follow it on Spotify or whatever platform or app you listen to it on. Share it with your friends. Come visit the stream. If you're someone who just listens to the podcast, come check out the stream sometime. I'd love to say hi, make yourself known, let me know that you came through the podcast. I'd love to meet you guys, and I love to talk with you. It's always a good time. But enough with that promotion segment of the podcast. I want to talk about, good segue, I wrote this down, weird promotions. I want to talk about weird promotions because as of late, especially now with Christmas on its way, there's just so many ads, and you don't realize how many ads there are until it's like overly saturated. Because there's ads all year. That's how marketing works, you know. Like they post stuff all the time, and they talk about things all the time. But it's always interesting when you see certain ones and they get a little traction, and then you see them more and more and more and more, especially during the holiday season. But specifically, I wanted to talk about mobile game ads. I've seen a lot of YouTubers talk about this before, but like, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in because oh my god. Now that Instagram has changed their format and your like For You page on Instagram, normally before it would only be things that you would see from friends, and you would scroll through, and every once in a while you get an ad. You know, it's normal. You scroll through and it's only people you follow. Now they add things in that like from people that you don't know. Like it's just recommended stuff. And for me with Instagram, I don't want that. I just want to see photos of friends and see what's up with friends and, you know, all of that stuff. I don't want to see like recommended stuff because if I do, I can just go to like the search and they have all those things, or I can go to TikTok where it's randomized, you know? Like I like that. Like, but Instagram's like, it's always been to me a spot where you could share photos with your friends and stuff, or videos. So I was searching, trying to see like people, and like I had to go through and do the like don't show anymore. Like I have to do that every single time, and I kept getting ads for like games because I'm a gamer. What can I say? I'm a gamer. But I like to play games on my phone as well, you know. And whenever I'm scrolling through those, I get ads for mobile games, but it's always like the weirdest fucking ads. Like, have you guys seen the one where the arrow's flying and the guy's running down this long hallway, and there's like two shield walls that you can go through? One has like ×5 and one has divide by 2, and like when you go through it, it divides how many people are running by that number or multiplies it by that number, and then you attack as you're going. You can lose people, and it just goes like that. Step by step until you get to the boss. And like they always like record that the person running or the arrow firing down this hallway always takes the subtracting or the negative route. So by the end of the thing, they have like 3 arrows or 3 guys, and they just die instantly. And me being very, very ADHD and very OCD, like I'm like, I need to download this game and like do this correctly because it's bugging me that this person's so bad at the game, you know? And then you go to the game and the game has nothing to do with what you just watched. Nothing at all. It's normally like a Empire Clans or one of those things where you build a little city and to play every single day. Otherwise you don't get anywhere. Your progress doesn't go, and you just attack other clans online, and it's really shitty, and microtransactions are everywhere, and blah, 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 blah. But it has nothing to do with the arrows or the guys running down, and you have to hit the right ones to expand or decrease, and it's never like that. And so, like, I realized that, like, they do these things, obviously, to make you feel that way, where you're like, I want to be better than this person, that's why I'm going to do it. But what do they expect when the person goes there, like I do, where I get that feeling and I want to go and download the game, and it has nothing to do with it, you know? Like, it has nothing to do with the game. Like, the preview photos that you see on the App Store for the game aren't what you just watched. So you sit there and you're like, what did they expect? Like, yeah, you got to click on the app to go look at it. Like your ad got, pushed. But other than that, like they're going to be disappointed because it's not going to be what the ads like portraying. It's just always weird to me. I always thought that plus you see all the puzzle game ones for like the cleaning the house, like your grandma left you a mansion and your fiance left you at the altar and so your grandma gives you a rundown mansion so you have something to do and here clean up this mansion and you can do puzzles and like there seems like there's a story behind it, but the story is never really explained. And like the grandma seems evil because at the end, like she's in a cop car driving off and puts like a post-it note on the. It doesn't make it like there's just the weirdest fucking. You're like, how does this have anything to do with the game? It's just like it seems like mobile game ads, and this is only for games, like mobile game ads. It seems like their top priority for their marketing team is to get people to click out of confusion because they know if people don't understand, they're going to click on it. But the thing is, then they don't get the ad unless people are actually downloading the game, which maybe they are, maybe it's working. I don't know. I don't see how it works because like you're saying it's one thing, but then when you click on it and it's so apparent, like they don't even make it like they don't use screenshots from the video that they just show for the ad as like the preview photos for the game on the App Store. It's like a completely different game with the same name. And you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. I've never understood that. I thought it was so weird. And I see them all the time. And I'm like, how does this work? How? Obviously it is because you see them all the time. But also I think about like algorithms and how if people click on an ad a lot, it'll get pushed more. And yeah, you're getting exposure for the game, but is it good exposure? Because like all I've seen is bad things on it. All I think about it is bad things. So like, yeah, you might be getting a lot of clicks and it might be a really popular ad because of the confusion. But then like, is your game getting any downloads? Like that's my question. Like I don't know how that works. It's always confused me, but I don't know. Also, I wrote down some other like promotions or like ads that I've seen as of recently that have just like really confused me, and I wanted to talk about them because some of them I found so funny, just so funny. Absolutely, I sat there laughing forever, and I had to tell my wife, and it was just funny. But Domino's, Domino's Pizza, why it's called Domino's, I've never understood. I need to actually look it up and see why it's called Domino's. I've never understood why it's called Domino's. But Domino's Pizza Place, we all know it. Everyone knows it. It's a pizza place. It's got a chain. You can get pizzas there, and they got pasta and bread, and now they have sandwiches, oven baked sandwiches. I don't know why they went with sandwiches, but they have sandwiches. But they're doing a thing right now where they're giving away like $50 million worth of surprise freeze. That's what they're calling it, surprise freeze. It sounds like they're like freezing you, surprisingly, just like gotcha, you're cold now. Surprise freeze, but it's freeze and like as in like something free. Like you can have this bagel for free, but they're calling it freeze. FREES. Domino's surprise freeze. But all the ads are like, if you order online or on the phone, like on your phone for delivery, there's a chance that when they bring you your stuff, you'll get like 2 lava cakes or a thing of bread twists or an extra pizza or something more. That's what they say. And it's always like somebody opening a box, like a pizza box, and going, oh my God. Like that really like, oh, wow. Oh my goodness gracious. And it doesn't explain what it is, but like in other ads, they've shown like that they've brought a band with them to people's houses if they order pizza. And so like, I understand like, oh, like there's a chance that you could get an extra pizza. Like they'll just throw one in and be like, ha, you won, surprise freeze. Or like you come and you get an extra dessert and you're like, wow, look at that. I got, 2 lava cakes or a cookie cake or whatever the hell they serve at Domino's. You know, like, whoa, yay, that's awesome. But I'm just thinking about the fact, like, I don't know, there's probably a bunch of terms and conditions that go applying to it, but when you see an ad, like, people take it at face value. You know, like, that's how our brains work. We take it at face value. So my thought my thought process is, if they're like, if you're ordering a pizza and you want a pizza, you're like, hey, I just want a large cheese pizza, maybe some cheesy crust if I want to splurge a little bit, you know, just little gooey inside, you know, it's delicious. I'm gonna order a pizza. Okay, it's it's 11 p.m. It's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. You want a pizza, you know, you want to treat yourself, you know, so you get a pizza, and you're in a onesie. You're in a onesie. You order a pizza. You want contactless delivery because that's still going on, you know. So you order the pizza. You're in a onesie at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, and you get a call, and they say, "Hey, I'm at your building. I'm at your house, but I don't know where you are. Like, where do you want me to leave it? I'm just confused. Do you mind just coming up? You know, they got to be like, have a sneaky way to surprise it. Surprise freeze. So you come upstairs in your onesie, you know, because you're just opening the door and grabbing the pizza. It's not a big deal. You don't have to worry about what they think of you because you're just grabbing a pizza and going back inside. It doesn't matter that you're wearing a onesie on 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. And you open the door, and there's Green Day. There's Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is right out there. Just like, and I catch a grenade for ya. Just sitting out there. You're like, what the fuck? I'm in a onesie on a Tuesday at 11 p.m. on my porch, and there's Bruno Mars and Green Day outside of my house with my cheese pizza with cheesy crust. What the fuck? Surprise freeze. You know, like, that's at face value. When I see that ad, I'm just like, how is that going to work? That's going to be so uncomfortable. Like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. But then, like, Bruno Mars and Green Day have seen you in a onesie on a Tuesday at 11 p.m. You know, like, I don't understand. It's just so funny. But then also, why are they calling it surprise freeze? Surprise freeze. Sounds like a catchphrase. Surprise freeze. It's like Frozone's Incredibles 3. Frozone's new catchphrase. Surprise freeze. Where is my super suit? Surprise freeze. Oh my god. I don't understand. I don't understand why surprise freeze is what they're calling, because it doesn't even make sense. And it does sound like you're saying freeze. Freeze! Surprise. Also, wouldn't you be surprised if someone said freeze? Especially in this day and age, if someone says freeze, you're going to put your hands up right away. You know? Freeze! Oh, surprise! Gotcha. Doesn't make any sense. But I just think it's funny. There's a Green Day on my porch with Bruno Mars. There's Green Day and Bruno Mars on my porch with my cheese pizza with cheesy crust on a Tuesday at 11 p.m. Surprise freeze. Got him. I don't know. It's just funny. But anyway, another ad that I saw recently. This one was on Twitter, and this one made me laugh so hard, but also cringe at the same time, that I had to stop everything I was doing, go get a glass of water, and sit down, because it just shocked me so mad. It shocked me so bad. We all know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You know, he's a legend. He's The Rock. You know, he has a nickname that has now been ingrained in his name. He's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We don't call him Dwayne. We don't call him Dwayne Johnson. We call him Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's The Rock or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We don't say it any other way because he is The Rock. But he's always been like big on social media, and he's also really he comes across. I don't know him, so I can't give 100% certainty. But he seems like a swell, well-rounded, very polite man. You know, like he does. He seems very, very nice. And as of late, he's been doing a bunch of sponsorships and has a bunch of businesses and stuff. He has like a energy drink that he came out with. It's like tea based. I think it's called like Teos or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But he's coming out with a bunch of different things, and as of right now, he has a sponsorship thing that he's doing with Xbox, and that piqued my interest. I was like, "Ooh, Xbox! I'm a PlayStation boy, but also I'm not going to deny that Microsoft has some good stuff, and like if they're doing a giveaway, like sign me up." And I clicked on it. I was like, "Ooh, what is this? I'm going to watch." There's a video attached. Let's see what Dwayne The Rock Johnson says. I push play, and and The Rock, The Rock in a red polo goes, "Hey, it's Dwanta Claus." And I had to pause it, and I sat there and I said, excuse me, what did you say? The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So I hit replay, and he said, "Hey, it's Dwanta Claus." And I paused it, and I looked at the title and the description of the tweet with the video, and it said, "Hi, it's me, Dwanta Claus, teaming with Xbox to bring you 12 days of Red Notice. Enter now for a chance to win an Xbox Series X console, the newest generation, a Halo helmet, and a bunch of Game Pass subscriptions." And I said, Dwanta Claus? Excuse me, The Rock, Dwanta Claus? Did you change Santa to Dwanta because your name is Dwayne? Why isn't it Santa The Rock Claus? Or the Snowball? The Ice Block or something like that. If you're going to try to take over for Santa, Dwanta Claus? It sounds like a kid with a speech impediment. Dwanta, I want a dwessin for Dwismas, please. Dwanta, please. I want a dwessin for Dwismas. And I sat there and I laughed so hard. I was like, it was cringy, but also like I understood, and like it is funny. I'm playing it up. It's this is a bit, everybody. This is called a bit. It's called comedy. We do that here on You've Been Josh. We do bits. Always take what I say not at face value, because otherwise you'll get a surprise freeze. But I laughed so hard. I responded. I entered the giveaway 100%. I entered the giveaway, and I was like, Dwanta Claus, I'd want a dwessin for Dwismas. In hopes that he would see it and laugh, but he did not, alas. I just thought it was so funny that Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who has a nickname, decided to give himself a new nickname. Because that's the thing, the movie that they're promoting with the giveaway has nothing to do with Christmas at all, or Xbox. And because I wanted to make sure, I was like, maybe this is like the 12 days of, like it's supposed to be like a Christmas theme thing, or The Rock is playing some sort of like Christmas character in a Christmas movie called 12 Days of Red Notice. And I looked it up. The movie is just called Red Notice. It's with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. We know Ryan Reynolds from everything. Everything and Deadpool. Gal Gadot is known for a bunch of things now, but like she blew up from Wonder Woman. So it's a stellar cast, And so I wanted to look at it, what it was. It's a Netflix original. Basically, The Rock is a FBI agent that works with Interpol, and to catch art thieves that are red noticed, one of the top most dangerous criminals. Ryan Reynolds is someone with a red notice. He is an art thief. And Gal Gadot is also someone with a red notice, also a art thief, but much better than Ryan Reynolds. But here's the kicker. This is what I don't understand, and this is just about the plot of the movie, is that Gal Gadot's character, from what we picked up and what they say in the trailer and the teaser trailer, is Gal Gadot sets up The Rock as the FBI agent to get a red notice himself. So he is no longer a part of the FBI technically, and they're looking for him. So what he does is he goes and teams up with Ryan Reynolds, another art thief, to catch another art thief. So it just doesn't really make sense. I'm assuming that it'll explain more in the movie, but it made me laugh, and I was just like, so nothing to do with Christmas, nothing to do with Dwayne The Rock Johnson being Dwanta Claus, and nothing to do with video games. So cool. But I entered, and hopefully I win. Who knows? If I do, I'll laugh really hard, and I'll write Dwanta Claus on my Xbox or a Halo helmet. 100%. I got this from Dwanta Claus. But speaking of movies, and Ryan Reynolds, I saw Free Guy this week or this weekend. And I was really looking forward to the movie because, especially now being a streamer, there was a lot of like cameos from big name streamers that were in the movie because it's a movie about a video game, and like they were promoting the shit out of it, and everyone was super hyped. And I watched it, and maybe it was because my expectations were really high, and plus it's Ryan Reynolds. But it let me down. I was very disappointed. I don't want to spoil anything. It just the entire game that they had built for the movie that was supposed to be like built on an AI that learns and adapts and like has like a very high potential, and you can do whatever you want in the city. It's called Free City. Free Guy and Free City. Like that's the whole thing. This doesn't give anything away about the plot or anything, but the whole thing looked like Grand Theft Auto, like it looked like Grand Theft Auto, but like when you see the people playing the game from the real world, and I'm putting up quotation marks, the real world, into like seeing on their screen them playing, you see Ryan Reynolds and thing because he's in the game. The graphics are absolute dog shit. Like they're nothing. They look like Sims 2 character models, and it's just really funny to me. There's a lot of things that I was just like about the movie. It just seemed more like a cash grab that they hyped up and like threw famous people in as cameos to make more money out of it. It was just kind of disappointing. It was a letdown. Especially after we've had Ready Player One had such a huge success, where it's a open, free to play, any person can get anywhere kind of video game VR world. And the cameos that they did in there, but just subtly sprinkled them in the background that you were like, oh shit, look at that. That's, this is that person and that, I feel like they could have gone about it in like a very different way, and it would have been a lot better. But go watch it. Tell me what you think. I just wasn't a huge fan, to be honest. Maybe I'll watch it again in like a month or so and see how I feel about it. But yeah, it was just interesting. It was interesting. I just didn't think it lived up to the hype that they set up for it. It just seemed unfinished. Maybe they rushed it. Maybe because of COVID and everything, they had to like not do as much as they had planned, but it wasn't what I was expecting. It made me a little sad, but I still love Ryan Reynolds. Still love him. But speaking of good movies, and a huge shout out to my friend Shannon Hutchinson, but yeah, I hope you're listening because I know you've been listening to the podcast. She just came out with not her herself, but she's in a movie called Electric Jesus. Yes, and it's about a church band, a church metal band called 316 back in 1986, the summer of 1986. They go on tour, Christian hair metal band. And it's really good. The music's freaking sick. The story is very like nostalgic. I got to watch like a premiere show of it over Zoom, and it was really cool. And my friend's in it, plays one of the main characters, Sarah, a preacher's daughter. Her dad in the movie is played by Judd Nelson. Freaking Judd Nelson, everybody, from The Breakfast Club. Like, what the fuck? Super, super cool. Brian Baumgartner from The Office is in there. He played Kevin from The Office, Kevin Malone. But Brian Baumgartner's in it as the tour's manager, and it's really really funny. But the movie's really great. It was directed by Chris White. Huge shout out to the cast and crew from that. They went on like a bunch of like tours to festivals and stuff with it, and it was just really cool. It was really really cool, and it was cool to see the process of her in the movie and going and filming it, because I was following her Instagram and following the process. But it was just really awesome. So go check it out, Electric Jesus. Go do it. Go give it a watch. Also, since I'm shouting out friends, huge shout out to Drew Becker. I used to do theater with them when I was younger. They're the lead in Tootsie, the Broadway musical tour right now, and they're performing, and it's insane to see their accomplishments. It's really awesome. Just all my friends, like I feel like I'm getting to that age now where a lot of my childhood friends are finally settling into their dreams and their passions, and they're finding out what they like, and they're getting their big break, and they're doing some really awesome things, and it's really cool to see updates on them. Like I'm not a huge person for social media, but I like keeping up to date on like friends and acquaintances that I've met along the way, and it's really awesome to see them succeed and like and like shout them out and promote their stuff as much as I can, because it's cool. You know, it's awesome that they get to do these things, and I'm really happy for them. And it's good everybody to like reminisce about your own accomplishments. Just because other people are doing like crazy things and you're like not in a movie with Judd Nelson or on Broadway's tour, like a Broadway tour or something like that, doesn't mean that you're not doing things that are impressive, you know? Because I see there's this trope in movies, since we're on the topic of movies. I see this trope in movies where people get really depressed in a film, and the right people, as in like if people aren't doing crazy things, like they're not like in a band writing a song or solving a world problem or something like that, like they're looked down upon, or they're like make the character depressed because they're not doing much. And they make it seem like if you're not doing something that on paper seems credible, then you're not doing much. Because me personally, I could sit back and be like, wow, I've done shit. I didn't go to college. I wanted to do theater, but then decided not to. I've had a bunch of little businesses that I've done, but they were more like hobbies than anything, so they haven't really gone anywhere. And I could just like shit talk myself, you know? But if you think about it, it's something I remind myself constantly, just because it's good to remind yourself and good to think about the things that you have done. Is like I opened the juice bar out of high school. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it, but I did it, and I can say I did it, and I can say that I have a Surf Safe certification. It's good for another year. And that was really like I had to train for that and go and do it. And it's not a huge accomplishment, but for me, that was new. That was something that I had to practice for, and I got to go do. And like I think back to when I was a kid, like I did like over 100 different musicals and plays. Like I was into that shit, and I did it. Now it wasn't for me, but like I did a lot of them. I was Romeo and Juliet. Like it's the small things, you know? So it's good to just remind yourself that just because you're doing your own thing doesn't make you any less special than all of these people. We need to stop putting people on pedestals. Just because they're doing something crazy doesn't mean that they're better than you or less than you at all. We're all equal. We're all doing our own thing. We're just trying to find what works for us and makes us happy. And that's why I'm always so excited to see other people doing things. It doesn't matter if they're like doing a movie or doing a Broadway tour or my friend, he just reached 500 followers on Twitch. Shout out The Crimson on Twitch. It's huge accomplishments. Every milestone, every building block for everybody should be appreciated and like thought about and commended, you know? Because everything is building the person that is going through that, you know? Someone reaching affiliate after a couple months, or someone reaching affiliate right away. Just because someone reached it quicker than you doesn't mean that they're better than you or less than you. Doesn't mean that your content's any worse. It just means that people are different. People are going through different things at different times, you know? And this is one of those conversations that it's hard to have because there's two sides that people could take. It's easier to take one of the two sides than it is just to be complacent and walk down the middle path. You know, it's easy to be like, well, you're saying that because you didn't go to college and you're not in a movie or blah 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 blah. And view it as it's a mindset of someone who's not doing much. But then you could also view it on the other side of like, you shouldn't think like that because I have done those things and it's not that big of a deal. But it's all about mindset, you know. Like you need to stay optimistic, you need to stay positive, you need to think about things as stepping stones, because I feel like people don't take appreciate what my okay. I'm derailing so many times in this conversation. I'm just trying to be an optimistic person in the sense that everyone has accomplishments, big and small. Doesn't matter who they are or what they are. But they should be celebrated. Every little thing, because it makes them who they are. That's who they are. That's building who they're going to be. Like I said, just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean that I'm a failure at life. You know, I've accomplished a lot of things, and if I would have gone to college, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. I probably wouldn't have met my wife. I probably wouldn't have learned what I did from opening the juice bar. I wouldn't be streaming probably. Who's to say? It's a different timeline. But it made me who I am. You know, I have 1,000 followers on Twitch. I'm at like 1,300 followers now. You know, I'm doing this as my full-time job. I'm loving it. I get to hang out with all my friends every day. I get to do this podcast, which I'm really, really happy about, and I'm proud of. And I think it's important to just commend people and celebrate with them for everything that they do. Because it is the little things, you know, little things, big things, everything. It's all stepping stones. This podcast went off the fucking deep end, but you know, it is what it is. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I didn't mean to rant. Surprise freeze. Surprise freeze. Got him. But I hope you liked today's episode. I hope you liked today's episode. Come back next week. We come out with new podcast episodes every week, and they will be filled with whatever I come up with. Oh man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for dealing with my brain. I'm very proud of what I've done with my life. I'm very proud of the people around me. I'm very proud of this podcast. I'm proud of myself for putting my foot forward and doing it. I don't edit these. I don't. I just talk. I just talk. And maybe that's a dangerous thing to do, but I like it. I think it's raw. I think it's honest, you know? And I like it that way. It's rough around the edges, like me and my life, and that's the beautiful part about humanity. I don't want to get you guys a clean cut conversation. You know, I want you guys to see the real me and feel like we're just in a room talking about stuff. So I hope you're enjoying yourself. Thank you guys for listening, and share with your friends and get them involved, and check out Electric Jesus, please. It looks super cool. And if you're into theater, check out the Tootsie Broadway tour. They're selling tickets. They're going around the US and to a bunch of different places. So get a ticket, check it out. Say Josh Adams sent you. And yeah. Appreciate you guys. And until next time, I leave you. Bye, guys.